Hello friends, myself Mr. Sunil Deokar, Assistant Professor in the Department of English of Rao Bahadur Narendra Boroke College, Sri Rampur. Today I am going to deal with the topic stress management. Already I have discussed in soft skills the different points which we should remember, or the skills which we should inculcate in ourselves. So those different life skills I have dealt with. Initially I have dealt with leadership, then teamwork skills, positive attitude, and today I am going to deal with stress management. So what is stress management? Stress management, this term, it came in 20th century. It was not before 20th century. The scenario of life, it changed after 20th century. So before 20th century, the people, they were living their lives, or you can say there was no industrialization. But with the growth of industrialization, the life, it changed. Money, it replaced humanity, I would say. People started giving more value to money and work, and they lost their humanity. And in this situation, how we can cope with the present scenario? And that's why stress management or stress is defined as it is the 20th century syndrome born of man's race towards modern progress and its ensuing complexities. So clearly you can understand, when it came, its origin, it was in 20th century. Next we are being told where from it was born. It was born in 20th, that means born of man's race towards what? Modern progress. So modern progress, what is modern progress? We say, yes, I am modern, I am a gentleman. So here in a sense, this modern term, it is associated with progress of man. So what kind of progress? It is the progress of industrialization. It is the progress of, we can say, this rat race, I would say, in the global world. Everyone tries to prove that I am superior, the superiority complex or the progress. So toward modern progress and its ensuing complexities, and that it has brought much more complexities in our present life. So that is stress, you can say. And so in short, we should remember, stress is 20th century origin of man's race and arising in number of complexities. So, but then also, yes, we say at one side it is a complexity, but at the other side, we should try to overcome this complexity. So how we can overcome stress? So likewise, due to that, the impact of stress is on what? The impact of stress is on our body. So is on our body means what? Physical body. Secondly, the weight it might gain or someone might lose due to stress. Someone might gain weight and someone might lose weight also. At the other side, some people, they are only eating, indulged in eating habits. So you start eating excessively. You don't know how much I should eat, where I should stop. So your eating habit, it might increase in some cases. So that may impact, it is in different ways. Finally, we may also say there might be loss of appetite. So some people, they might even, you can say, they might give up their food habits. So that means bhook na lagne apan manto in Marathi. So loss of appetite, it may also happen. So the impact of stress is in that manner. So what are the symptoms of stress? So what are the different symptoms of stress? We have to identify a person who is in a stress. So first of all, we may say his loss of concentration. He is not at all aware. So that means loss of concentration. Next we may say he is absent-minded. He is absent-minded. So even though he might be physically present in the classroom or he might be present in the office, but his mind is not stable. So that means he might be a daydreamer. So he might be somewhere else. He might be encircled with different problems. So he might be encircled with different problems. So that might be also the reason. So there is a great depression in the life of that person. Yes, money might be there, job might be there, but at the other side, due to depression, naturally, he is completely in stress. He becomes angry. Naturally, that person, in a sense, he starts, you can say, blaming other people. He starts quarreling with his colleagues. He starts abusing his friends. He is not comfortable even in the family. That means there is always a conflict between the children and the father or his wife. So he is not at all stable. So his anger, the state of anger, it might rise to any height, you may say. There is also family conflict. So the consequences are also reflected on what? On the family. And we see migraine, as everyone of know, migraine is a part of a headache. It is a part of headache. Ardha doko dukhne, manje migraine, you can say. So migraine, so they might also suffer with migraine or back problems. Back problem. So wherever, sometimes, so just I'll give one example. Whenever you might be, that means in a stress, you might be sleeping on your bed. So the pillow, it might be, that means the weight of the pillow or the load, it might be, and you have slept in that position. And so you don't understand. You don't understand your position. And likewise, so why you don't understand? Because you are not with the situation. So your actions and your body, they should, that means your thoughts and your body, there should be a proper coordination. Whatever you do, you should do it with awareness or with concentration. And if your concentration is lost, you could not, that means you could not give justice to your work. So that it also hampers, you can say. So these are the common symptoms of what? These are the common symptoms of stress. So what it's, that means what are the causes of stress? So the causes of stress, it might be, you can say, job insecurity. You might be, someone might be afraid, yes, I might be dismissed from my job. I might be, that means kicked out from my job. Later you can say high performance demand. So yes, in nowadays in IT sectors, we see, so in this pandemic situation, we have gone through this pandemic situation of COVID-19, many people all over India, they have lost their job. And after losing a job, how to survive? So we see many people, they might have also committed suicide. They have run away from the reality of life. So this, you can say, the problems, they might come at any stage. And so insecurity or the demand of high performance, it is also one of the main, you can say, reason. Bad boss. Why I have written that? Means bad boss, if the administrator, he is, that means he is of that, he might be a selfish person. He might be dominating only certain people. He might be making gender discrimination, male and female. So sometimes the female candidates, they might be, that means they might be called late hours. So the stress, it might hamper in a different manner. So the people who are in that working atmosphere, they are rather frightened. So they are rather frightened, you can say. And the boss, whenever you can say, the boss, if he is cordial, cordial in what sense? That means first of all, he should be human. He should try to cooperate with each and every employee. Yes, the work should be done. It should be productive. And you should, that means one should be flexible. One should be flexible at different levels, we can say. So one cannot run only by rule. So rules are rules. But at the other side, humanity is also there. So there is one chapter at T.Y.B.A level, Rule on the Road by Deokar. So there, what does he mention? The same thing he has mentioned. So what he tells, rules they are made, but at the same time, the rules, they should be flexible. We should be able to change. Everything cannot be followed by the rules. If you go generally only by rules, nothing can function. Nothing can function. So likewise, both things we should try to make an adjustment, you can say. So workplace culture. So what is the workplace culture? So the workplace culture, it also hampers, you can say, stress. So how you are treated, so what kind of work you are doing. So it hampers, that means it is also one of the severe problem of stress. your personal and family problems. So there might be n number of problems, family problems, but how you overcome? If you are not able to overcome those problems, you are again a failure. So technology. So technology has also become a greatest barrier in today's world, I would say. So we see nowadays the freshers or the newcomers, they are well acquainted with the technology, with the changing technology, and some people, they are adamant, they are not ready to change. They are not ready to change with the technology. And so when the knowledge of technology it comes, they are not that much functional, and it hampers their career or their profession. So likewise, it is also one of the problem that I am not capable or able to handle the technology. That is also one of the reason of stress, you may say. So then we may divide stress of two kind. One we may call as uterus, another we may call as distress, or the same it might be named as positive stress or negative stress. So what is positive stress? So positive stress, in a sense, what kind of stress you take? That means the work should be done. So when you take stress in that manner, you make a plan. Yes, this is the stress or the load which is on me. I should make a proper plan. How I can get this work done? You should apply your steps and see how I can cope up with those problems and how I can come out of those problems. So that means such kind of stress, it motivates us. It motivates us, you can say, it generates energy. So such kind of stress, it generates energy, and at the same time, it improves your performance. And every time what you do, you make an analysis. So all times you might not be successful, but at the same time, when you are a failure, you make analysis. I would say stress, we call stress as a problem. And in another word, we may call stress as a problem, but we should have the ability to overcome that stress. So overcome that stress it means finding out a solution. And when you find out a solution, you come out of that stress. So you come out of the stress. I'll tell you one, you can say a simple example of a family. So one person, he said, he came with his problem or with a stress. Sir, I got married, and after a year, my wife, she died, leaving a son behind. So just, that means in pregnancy, likewise, she died and she gave birth to a son. So I loved her very much. You can say my marriage was a love marriage. My marriage was a love marriage, and we had an intimate relationship with each other. So we never were husband and wife. We were living like a lover and beloved. And she died, that means after giving birth to a male child. So how can I come out of this stress? So that person, he should think. So he should think that yes, my marriage was a love marriage. We loved each other very much. And I could see, that means next after a death, I should look after that child. I should bring after him. That means I should care for his feelings. And at the other side, we should also see the people who are married, are they really happy? The people who are living as husband and wife, are they really living happy? You can take example of 10 people around you. So you should look it in a positive manner. Yes, that means my married life, it lasted for 1 year, and as that means my love, before that we were in love with each other for 2 years or 3 years. So those 4 years is a tonic for me. So you should look in that manner and you should come out. So don't see, that means don't take that stress as a long-term stress. You should come out. Yes, you should live on those happy memories. You should live on those happy memories which would give you a lifetime happiness in your future also. And it should be an energizer for you. So what would it affect? If it is a positive stress, it would naturally enhance your turnover, that means your productivity. Wherever you are working, that industry, it might be benefited. The turnover or the production of the industry, it might enhance. At the other side, we may say that means your decision making power, it would be strong. So you will have a proper teamwork among all the people, a proper time management, and all likewise at family and outside, that means at office and family, both things, that means they will cooperate in a proper manner and you can become successful. And at the other side, so this is about positive stress, but at the other side, when we speak about distress or a negative stress, that negative stress, it in a sense here it will not, here it motivates, here it will not motivate you. You will find that I am a loser, you are a failure, and when you feel that I could not get success, naturally that your business will also collapse. If you are working at certain position, there might be a fear of losing your job also. Your relation with your family, it might also break. There will not be a cordial relationship between your kids and yourself. So everywhere you will be disturbed, you will not be successful at all. So a negative stress or distress, it will finish you. So we should try to come out of this situation. Distress, it is a failure and it will surely end you very soon. So physically and mentally also. Physically, in a sense, if you are going to survive for 80 years, I would say surely you will decrease your 20 years. That means physically also you will become weak and mentally also you will become weak. And so it will hamper by both ways. So we should try to overcome the distress or negative stress in our life. So what are the different types of stress? I would say the different types of stress. The first, acute stress. Acute stress means what? It is a short-term stress. Short-term stress means what? Sometimes there is a headache. Then at some time you might be caught in an accident. So you might come out of that accident also. So it might be for certain period. It might be for certain period, or there might be a work which has been assigned to you for a week or a month. So at that time also we should be able to come out of that stress. So that means there might also be stress or pressure of meetings. So all these are the short-term stress, and we should be able to come out of this short-term stress. And what is long-term stress? So long-term stress, it is, that means poverty, it might be a long-term stress. So I am a poor person, I could not help others, I could not stand. So your poverty, it is hampering your career also. So that kind of stress, it is, that means it will always hamper. It is a chronic stress or it is a long-term stress. The other stress, we may say illness. So when a person, when he comes to know that I am suffering from a cancer, or I am suffering from a certain kidney disease, or I am suffering from AIDS. So you have a fear. What is your fear? Your fear, that means I have, that it becomes your long-term stress. You cannot overcome, that means you feel that I am a BP patient, I am a sugar patient, and it becomes a long-term stress. Whenever you hear around some people, they died due to that sickness or that illness, you naturally feel, yes, like that person, same disease is in me, and you collapse. So that it becomes a long-term stress. So it becomes a long-term stress. So as I have told you, it might be poverty, it might be illness, sometimes marriage. So a couple, they might be married. The wife, she is not ready to give divorce to the husband. She is, that means morally she might be corrupt and she behaves in a different manner. She tortures their husband in a different way. So that might also be a stress, and people likewise, due to that, their career, it also hampers, and they are not ready. That means they cannot come out of that problem or stress. So failure in life also is a long-term chronic stress. So these are the different kinds of stress which I have explained you, and how people you can say they are encircled with this. So how you can come out of the stress? So there are certain steps we should remember, or everyone, I would say, that means stress is an origin, we may say, but look at the stress as a problem. When you look at the stress as a problem, you will surely find out a solution. And for every problem, there is a solution. So we should look it as a problem and we should try to find out a solution for that problem, I would say. So first of all, be prepared to change. What is important? People, they are much more orthodox. That means try to change yourself. I would say, so your son, he might have gone to studies at abroad and there he got married. So that means, can you give up your son? You cannot give up your son. So that is not only a single case in the world that your son, he has married, that means he has married secretly. But at the same time, you should also accept, yes, all right, that means whosoever is his wife or his beloved, so you should try to accept him. Yes, she might be equivalent. So you should look at the career. So that means don't give away all this caste and creed. So see her as a human being. Is she successful? Is she at certain position? Is she, that means, is her thought, that means is her thought, that means her thoughts, do they match with my son's thought? So think in that manner. So by profession they might come together, they might fall in love, they might get married, but at times you should be able to change, you should be able to accept them also. That attitude, it should be also developed in us, you can say. So be prepared to change. So change, just I have given that example, but at the other side, so at many levels, we should be able to change. Your boss might change. At the same time, your earlier boss, he was much more familiar. You are expecting the same thing from the next boss. It might not happen. So we should change. We should change according to the prevailing situation. So find and protect time to refresh. Yes, this is important. So find and protect time to refresh. Give time to yourself. Try to meditation. So meditation will help you to know who are you, who am I. Try to know yourself. Try to know yourself. Try to know your responsibility, and always try to analyze yourself and refresh. Refresh means what? Going for outdoor trip. So that means chit-chatting with your friends. So work is at one side, but at the same time, that means maintaining a healthy relationship everywhere, it is also another thing. So you should be able to refresh and energize, you can say. Avoid alcohol, smoking and other abuses. So many people, what naturally happen, we see many people, they get addicted to alcohol. What do they feel? They feel that it is a relief. From what? From stress. It is just a momentary relief. But what is the impact of that alcohol? That means your liver might be damaged. So that means you might lose all the healthy relationship in the society. No one will come close to you. No one will trust you. They will call you as a drunkard person, you can say. No one will trust you in a sense. So avoid alcohol, smoking, the same thing. So one behind another cigar, if you are smoking continuously, naturally, you become habitual, and in a sense, it will also create an adverse effect, you can say, and other abuses. So don't get indulged in such things also. So that means there is always, there should be a positive attitude. Don't keep a negative attitude in our mind. If you think positively, we have already gone through this topic, positive attitude. And positive attitude, it is a strength. It is a strength. It will always help you to come out of those different problems. So breathing. Breathing means what? Take a long breath always. So don't take short breath. So whenever you are in stress, sit at one place, sit relaxed manner, open palm, don't sit cross legs, open hand. So likewise, sit in a normal position, sit in a relaxed manner, take long breathing, inhale and exhale. So naturally you will give oxygen to your body. So that means the pressure will be released. So in this excess pressure, we see the problems of heart attack and n number of diseases, even brain hammering and all n number of diseases, we know the symptoms, you can say. So whenever you are in a stress, take long breath, try to avoid, you can say, running here and there in a sense. So breathing, visualize and communicate visually, that is also very important. Visualize means what? Believe in your naked eyes, don't believe your ears. Someone might be telling some, you can say, abuses about your friends or of your family or of your wife. Don't trust your ears, trust your eyes, and also communicate visually. When you are, that means communication, it should also be in a visual manner. Don't communicate behind, you can say. Communication, it should be face to face. Whatever that means, the people, we may call it as a Chinese whisper. Don't believe on that Chinese whisper. Trust your own eyes. And if you trust others, naturally you are always a failure. Don't keep interpreters in between. So don't keep them. So likewise, always trust your eyes and you will naturally get that happiness, you can say. So be thankful. Yes, it is also an important thing. If someone is helpful to you, say thanks to him. If a person, naturally, congratulate him. Congratulate him for what? The work done. Appreciation is also a very important thing, you can say. In a corporate world, even though you are a boss, when your subordinates or the last person, if he is, each and every person is a helpful person. Every person is a helpful person. Even in the kitchen, one who makes tea, if he is absent, who will give you tea? Who will give you food? So that's safe. Every person is important. And when they do their work, congratulate them. That means it will give energy to that person. They demand nothing. These people, they demand nothing. What they are thirsty for? They are thirsty for what? Positive words of their boss. So boss should always motivate and encourage his colleagues, his assistants, his juniors, and every one of them. So that when you work together, the teamwork, it will naturally reflect the results in a sense. So listen, and how you can release stress? Listen music. So music here in a sense. So that means take your own time. So that means a classical music, a silent music. So that means listening music for, you can say, for an hour also, it will surely decrease your stress. Or whenever you are doing your exercises, at that time also a silent music, it will also help you to reduce the stress. So entertainment is also sort of releasing your stress. So that means going for a movie, it will also release your stress. So communicating with our friends, it will also release your stress. Spending some time with your family and communicating with them. So playing with young kids, it will also release your stress. So going for a long walk or exercise, it will also release your stress. So likewise, and finally I would say, do nothing. Do nothing means what? Sit in a relaxed manner. Be calm, be silent, be in a peaceful state. Be in a peaceful state. Sit in a relaxed manner. Try to avoid all the burden. Switch off your phone, everything. Give your own time to yourself so that you can get rid of all such kind of stress. So as I have already told you, stress, treat it as a problem and always try to find out a solution. It will surely help you to come out. Thank you.